Well, Poon, it's been about a month or so since the first loss of your professional career. I know that's not never fun, right? You want to win every time, but that's what they say. That's when you learn the most, though, right? Is in those defeats. So, tell me now, a month later, kind of what you take away from that one.
Yeah, it's funny. Man, I thought like I looked down at the calendar today and realized it was only about a month. I thought like 3 months had passed since that fight. But no, I feel like I'm in a great place. I probably only was sad and like down in the dirt probably from leaving the octagon until the end of my shower. So from then I was pretty sad until then. After that shower, I got out and I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done feeling sorry for myself. I'm done being sad. And then I don't know. I just started to feel more confident. The more I watched the fight, the more confident I get. I saw a lot of good things I did. And I like to say there was never stress about being undefeated, but secretly there always was. And I feel like when I get into camp again, I'll feel less stressed about staying undefeated since I'm not anymore. So I think that's another good factor about it.
That's a positive. So basically,
Yeah.
I always knew it. So when we ask you guys, the undefeated guys, we say, "Oh, is there any pressure?" And you say, "No, not at all, man. I'm just out there to compete and have fun." And you're totally lying to us every time, right?
I feel like you almost have to say no, or else you like bring it to yourself. It's weird.
That's funny. So your ability to kind of just move forward and put it behind, is that something you've always had? I mean, growing up as like, other athletic contests or other things, setbacks. I mean, have you always been able to just walk away from it? Or is this kind of, something that you've been able to develop this time around?
No, I think just through growth and maturity in sports. It's weird. That was one of only 2 times I had ever lost and felt confident after that. The other time was a guy I kept losing to in wrestling. And the last time I had lost to him, I was like, I'm confident I can beat this guy. And I ended up beating him in the state finals. So that was one time I felt confident, and I felt confident after this fight. And it's just a really good feeling. You know what you can do out there. And I feel like after that fight, there's no ceiling to what I can do. I feel like I blew the ceilings off, and it's just to get there. I got to get there.
That's awesome, man. You guys, by the way, ended up having lunch the next day, right? How did that come together? We don't see opponents hanging out, having a meal together the next day very often.
Man, let alone 2 guys that was going to war, trying to, without a doubt, put each other out. But I'm not sure how it started. One of us probably reached out first and was like, good fight, yada, yada. And I think he actually reached out and said to come through first. And I said, yeah, right away. I remember waking up that morning just being sore and tired. Like, I do not want to go. Like, that place was probably 30 minutes from my house. And I was like, I do not want to make this drive. I do not want to go. But I already gave him my word. So I was like, all right, I'll man up and go there.
That's awesome, man. So do you guys end up talking about the fight at all, or do you talk about anything but the fight, basically?
We talked about everything. We talked about the food there. We talked about like teammates, mutual friends. We talked about the fight. It was a good time, It was weird. I was kind of waiting. Like, I wasn't sure if there'd be any weird animosity or whatever. I didn't feel anything. I just wasn't sure how he would feel. But he was a super cool dude, and the whole team was great. And it was just fun, man. I love this sport.
That's awesome. That's my favorite part about the sport. I mean, of course, we all like a little grudge match and a little battle, but it's so cool when 2 guys can go out there and, like you said, try to take each other's heads off and then have respect. You're like, hey, man, thanks for that competition. That was amazing.
There is nothing but respect from the second that 3rd round ended. I think we bent over to get some air, but right after that, we came together, greeted each other, and it was nothing but respect. I feel like 15 minutes, and I felt like that dude was my best friend.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So talk to me about what's happened. Like you said, you woke up, you're a little bit sore. Obviously, you go through a fight, man. I'm sure you need a little time off. Camp, I'm sure there's nicks and injuries and all that. So did you take significant time off, or did you get back to the gym pretty quickly?
Yeah, so it was funny. The biggest thing I thought was injured was like my ribs, my side. My whole side was swollen. It was like I had a 3rd butt cheek on my hip. Like for like a week, every step I took, it would just like jiggle and shake. But I don't know. It was weird. There's no broken ribs, no nothing. The only thing was I fractured my toe, so I had to wait 4 weeks for that. But
That's funny. A little toe takes you
yeah,
out of it.
super weird. Out of that whole war, just a little fracture in my toe. But I feel great. I'm back to training. The little injuries and stuff, they're healing up nicely. And I'm gonna try and jump in today and see how it goes.
That's awesome. So you're just getting back to. I see you. It looks like you're at the Performance Institute right now. Is this day one of getting back to training?
Practice. I've been doing strength conditioning and hitting mitts, but it's been pretty limited, like pretty stationary, not really moving, running, things like that.
Makes sense. Well, I'm sure you'll have to feel it out. I was going to ask you, what's the plan? Maybe you don't know yet. Maybe you got to go in there and see it, feel it out. But I mean, do you have a date on the calendar circled or a plan of how it's going to go out from here?
I'm thinking December. Yeah, I would really like to fight in December, get one more before the year ends, have a really good Christmas, and then depending on how that goes, I would like to start off 2022 with a bang as well. If not ending off 21 with a bang, I'd like to start up 2022 with a bang. So one of the two.
I dig it. Any names that make sense? I mean, obviously you're still very early in your career. I'm sure I can pair you up with anybody, but are there names that you're looking at that are like, man, this is a fight that really interests me?
It's hard. I'm not the best at picking guys out. I think I have a good team around me, and now that I switched management, I'm with Ali now, and I feel like with this new team, I feel like I'm not good at picking these guys, but I feel like Ali knows me and my skill set. So he's probably better at picking these guys. I say yes to everyone. It doesn't matter who. Ali just has to pick the name, and I say yes. So it's that easy for me.
I was going to ask, so does he come to you with a list, say, what do you think? Or is it more just like, just tell me and I'll go?
I don't know. We just started. We just started our partnership, and I'm glad to be part of the family, but I think it's going to be really easy. I assume he's just going to come with the name, and it's just a yes for me. He probably already knows I'm going to say yes to whoever he comes to the table with.
That's awesome. So what was the motivation behind going with Ali and starting this new partnership?
Nothing, and nothing really against my old management as well. I just feel like sometimes growing up means growing apart, and I just felt like this was the best step in my career for myself. And when I made the move to Vegas, the one advice that I kind of got from a lot of people was to just keep yourself, like, be your own guide, I guess. Look out for yourself, I guess. So I'm just trying to do what's best for me and what I think is my best.
Yeah, I mean, listen, nobody's going to make sure you're number one all the time except for you, So that's you got to look out for yourself. Well, that's awesome. So what do you do in the meantime? Are you a guy that watches the rest of the division? Like, are you excited about Derek Brunson and Darren Till this weekend, or are you a guy that doesn't really pay attention to fight much?
Yeah, I pay attention to every fight, regardless of if it's my weight class or not. The only difference is, like, I just get more sweaty and more nervous watching guys in my weight class. Like, I could go from watching a fight, being completely calm, watching the whole card. And then, for instance, the dudes on The Ultimate Fighter came on this season. I'm just, like, shaking, sweating, just watching their finale fight. I can't control my emotions. So any one of them, man, I don't care who it is.
That's awesome, man. So those were great fights. So you literally are you one of those guys that watches everything? Because there's some fighters that say I never watch anything, but you watch everything.
Yeah, I watch every fight, even smaller promotions. I'm a huge fan of the sport before I even started training. It almost feels like I'm just a huge fan that just so happens that can fight too. Like,
that's awesome, man. So do you geek out then, like when you're at a card and you're like walking around going, oh, that's so and so. Oh my gosh, look at that. I mean, are you taking pictures and that kind of stuff?
Oh, 100%. And like, if I'm quiet, like walking through the thing and I'm quiet, that's probably because I'm like geeking out. I'm just like looking at everybody and just like seeing the stars. And I'm just like, oh man, this is so cool. But you gotta like focus and maintain like your mindset while you're there and stuff. But yeah, I'm geeking out every time I see something cool.
That's hilarious, man. I love it. Well, what are your thoughts? You got any thoughts on Brunson and Till this weekend? You leaning one way or the other in that fight? Obviously, it's a big one for both those guys, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think it's a tough fight for both guys, man. Honestly, I think if Brunson is blonde, I don't think he's losing. Blonde Brunson doesn't lose.
You are a big fight fan. You can even get the silly little hardcore references.
Yeah. I think those things are so funny to me. Those things kill me.
Blonde Brunson. Well, we'll have to check out Media Day is Wednesday. We'll see how the hair color's looking, and then we'll know. Well, Puna, I'll let you get back to training, man. But I guess the news is right now, new management group. You're healed up. You're getting back to training, and we're targeting the end of the year.
Yes, sir. That all sounds good. That's where we're at, and I'm excited to go get it.
Awesome, man. Well, glad to hear you're doing good, Puna. We'll hopefully get something booked for you for the end of the year, and we'll talk again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.